Hello, this is Ariana Antonio for MUX 1403, and this is my prototype project review for week 2. And so in this one, I went ahead and created the actual prototype and Xcode for my movie night and went ahead and street tested it. I hit up my husband and some friends first, and then I found a couple people outside of a movie theater to test it for me. And actually, I was really nervous about it, but I got a lot of really good data. So I'll take you through the app really quick. So here's the home page, the main page that you go to. And as you can see, you can add a movie, read your friends' reviews, critics' reviews, look at your favorites, or you can search your reviews. And so when you go to add a movie, now again, since this has no code behind it, nothing really functions all that well. But so you can add a title. I'll just do Lord of the Rings. I'll be lazy. I wanted this to be a date picker, but it took up like half the screen, and I don't exactly know how to make it so you click it and then it pulls up a date picker. So for now, it just looks bad. This is a static image rather than having you actually be able to select it, because that would have taken a lot more code and been just less of a prototype. This one you can click and add it to a favorite, and then you can click and add a review. Loved it. And one thing that's sort of frustrating, I couldn't figure out, and this may take more research or maybe it just isn't possible, which would seem weird, how to dismiss the keyboard without having it activate a button. You know, there's the option to make this say done, but when you click it, it still does the return function of just adding a space rather than closing the keyboard. So I added an invisible button up here. So if the person just taps outside of it, it will close the keyboard, which is fine. But I don't have that set up for these, so it won't close until you go in here and then click outside of it. So that's just, I don't know, I guess some more stuff I have to learn how to do better. So then you go to save the review, and then there's a really simple page. I need a lot of design work, not just in my UX, but also just making my apps prettier. I'm not as good at it as I'd like to be right now. So then you can choose to share it via Facebook or Twitter after it's already been saved to your reviews. And then this drops back down to this page, which is something I'll address. And then, yeah, then you can go read your friends' reviews. And this is all really simple, obviously static stuff. Ideally, this would also have the date and some, based on user feedback, the first few lines of the review. Then you can click on it. And because I have so many dummy reviews, they are, oops, I accidentally forgot to make this not clickable. They're all the same. They all go to the same page. So 12 Years a Slave, well, that goes to Gravity too. So yeah, so they all go to the same place rather than having to create, 5 pages of reviews right here and then 4 here and, more here and all that sort of stuff. So they all go to Gravity. I really liked Gravity. So anyway, so then we can go to the critics' reviews, and you can see it has its Rotten Tomato score, and as well as the first few lines of it. So again, that would probably also, wouldn't have a date, but it would at least have the title. And then it'll have a page of all the ones that you marked as your favorites. So you can go back and look at your reviews of your favorites, and then you can, this would be a feed of all of your reviews, and then you could go ahead and search them by title, or they would automatically be put in by date in reverse order, and then, or you could choose to view them by title and you can search them. So this is the way the app is set up right now, and then you can go take my survey. Overall impression, would you use an app? How difficult were the tasks? Did each navigation do what you expected, and what was confusing, if anything? Pretty simple, basic questions. I feel like I got the most of my good data and feedback while they were using the app, and sort of more talking to them about the app and suggestions and what would work better for them. So I'm going to have pretty much a complete overhaul before next week. I do think that this red and the background image and stuff, I was trying, I think, too hard to make it look pretty, and in the process just did something kind of unnecessary. I did some more research on I was looking at movie review apps and not liking what I was seeing. And I think I realized after talking to people yesterday that more than a movie review app, this is a social app. It seems like the majority that people are going to be using this for is to share their reviews and read their friends' reviews. And so instead, I'm going to base the design more on social apps. So what I'm going to do is get rid of this page, and instead I'm going to have a tab bar. I initially thought tab bar, but I was worried I would have too much stuff for it. So I'm going to have a tab bar, and it'll open up on a feed that shows your friends' reviews. And then there will be an option to then also read critics' reviews, an option to add a review. What else do I have? An option to look at my favorites. I also have the favorites page, and then an option to look at sort of like your profile page, sort of like on Instagram. So there'll be a page for your profile with a picture, the little bit of information you put about yourself, some settings information, and then your list of reviews. And so then rather than having one page, a whole page dedicated to searching reviews, each of these pages will have a search function on it. Maybe not favorites, because I assume you won't have that many favorites, but when you're reading your reviews, your critics' reviews, or your friends' reviews, each page will have a search bar on top of it. So that way I can eliminate one of what would have been one of the search review tabs. I can just have a search bar at the top of each. So that basically, I'm assuming, or again, based on talking to people, it seems like, people are going to consider like, oh, we should go see I don't know, Nonstop tonight. Let's see what my friends thought about it. So they can open the app, it'll open up on their friends feed, they can type in Nonstop, and it'll automatically show all of the reviews that their friends left for Nonstop. It would be cool if I could eventually have it aggregate people's ratings for it, so then we could eventually get kind of like a Rotten Tomato percentage, but either of you could choose to have it maybe display your friends a percentage based on your friends, or a percentage based on all users of the app. So you can almost kind of create a Rotten Tomato type aggregation, but with real people or normal people instead of professional critics. So that's a more of a future thing. But again, that was based on feedback, and it was all really helpful. And I think it'll really, really improve for next week. So there'll be some other things, like I said, each page. I'm just going, I'm going down my list. Yeah, you won't search by date or by title. They'll all just be aggregated by date, and then you'll be able to search by title if you want. I have the nav bars. One of the suggestions would be nice, because now these are people's pictures. I manually obviously added these pictures. But when a person adds a review, it wouldn't automatically add a poster. So I'd have to look into how easy this would be. But ideally, the app, when you go to your add a movie and you go into title, this would probably have to take you to a separate page. But as you type in, like, so if you started to type on the Lord of the Rings, it would do similar to like what IMDb does. It would start to give you possible suggestions, because there are some movies with the same title, and so it would start to drop down, and you could select which movie you're leaving a review for, and then it would automatically populate a review with that movie poster. And I don't know, any other information if I decide at some point that's what users want, like maybe the link to the IMDb page or something. But for now, that would be the only way to easily get a movie poster in there. And it seems look-wise that people like the look of the reviews having a movie poster in the corner. So I think that's about it. It did seem, actually, I was worried that this would be such a niche that no one would really care that much about using it, except for hardcore film people. But it does look like a lot of the people I talked to really like the social aspect of it. The idea that they can look at a friend's feed, at their feed from their friends, and get a quick sense of what their friends thought about these movies, because a lot of people seem to care a lot more about what their friends think as opposed to professional movie critics. And so so it definitely seemed like there is people who were interested in using this app in that way, that they could just pop out of the theater, leave a review, and let their friends know, or look up movie times and pick which movie they want to see based on what their friends thought. So so I guess I didn't go completely line by line, but I can quickly say the user experience, it was mostly positive in the sense that people, again, seemed excited about it, but it does need a complete overhaul. Like just, having to click and go in, and then you want to go back to the main page and you go back. So there's just definitely layout wise needs a lot of improvement, and I got that feedback. But in general, people liked at least the idea of it. But yes, the user experience does need a lot of work, and the tasks were easy to accomplish. But again, with like with the keyboard issue and stuff like that, there are things that I do need to fix. One person suggested, he looked at this and said, "Favorite? What does that mean?" So there was a suggestion that instead that say add to favorites. I thought favorite question mark was obvious, but it may not have been to everyone. So that's something that can be more clear. And so I think that that also pretty much covers the pain points, was having to go forward, back, and all those all those things could be solved with a nav bar, as well as when you save a review, after this page pops up, don't go back to the review page. Maybe either go to the friend feed or go to your profile where you can see that it's been added, something like that. So that's something I'll have to figure out and work on. But yeah, so I have a lot of work ahead of me, but I'm very excited to hopefully show a much, much, much better product next week. Thanks so much. Bye.